Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight's presentation is entitled From Burnout to Breakthrough and Why Career Stress is a Choice. Let's talk about the elephant in the operatory. Dentistry was supposed to be the dream: autonomy, great income, a respected profession. But here's what we know today: career burnout is a real thing. The American Dental Association has been doing lots of tests and surveys on this, and they found that 82% of the respondents reported feeling some major stress in their career. And out of those major stressors, there seems to be four particular stress triggers: workforce shortage, patient attitude, clinical dentistry, which is always surprising to me. And the big one that I think is a huge problem is insurance reimbursements. And what's really sad is that more than half are considering leaving the profession early. This isn't what any dentist imagined when they signed their first student loan document. But the story you live depends on the choices you make. To prove it, let's meet two dentists who started in the same place but live completely different lives today. So let me take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Lori Bernardo. I am the Director of Practice Growth here at Amplify 360, and I have spent over 30 years in the dental profession, and I've done just about every job out there. I started my career as a dental hygienist, worked in practice consulting, I've done training for companies, and worked as a sales and marketing executive. And the really cool thing is that I've had the unique experience to work with thousands of dental practices across the US, helping them reach their full growth potential. Currently, I direct a team of patient generation specialists who work very, very hard to attract and retain ideal patients for the practices that they work with. And the best part is what the end result really comes down to is that we help practice owners live the life they dreamt about in dental school. So let's talk about this hero's journey, right? You're all heroes out there trying to fight the good fight, but that sometimes that journey leads you to burnout. So we're going to start our story with Dr. James. Dr. James opened his practice 10 years ago with optimism, like you all had. He had a shiny new sign, a couple of hygienists, and a dream to help people. But let's fast forward a decade later. Dr. James takes home about $150,000 per year. That's less than some of his friends who left dentistry and went into sales. He works 10-hour days, 5 or 6 days a week, and he hasn't had a real vacation in years because he can't afford to close the doors or trust his team to handle things if he leaves. Every morning, Dr. James dreads walking into his office. He knows his front desk is overwhelmed. He's going to see it on their face when he walks in. He's pretty sure at least one of his assistants will call out sick today. And he knows that he'll spend the day arguing with patients about copays and chasing insurance companies for money that's already overdue. His staff turnover is constant. He trains, they quit, he hires, they ghost. The revolving door has left him cynical. He assumes no one is loyal anymore. His team senses his frustration, and they're not inspired to stay. His patients feel the tension too. They complain, they push back against the fees, and then they shop around. So to keep the chairs filled, Dr. James, excuse me, Dr. James relies on PPOs, accepting deep write-offs that cut into his margins. And over time, he just told himself this is just how dentistry is. At night, Dr. James is exhausted. He comes home late, he eats standing up at the kitchen counter and collapses into bed. His spouse and his kids, they barely see him, and his body aches from hunching over a chair all day. He's a prisoner of his own practice. So let's turn the tables. So Dr. Jennifer has a very different story. Her path, her choices created a path to freedom. So let's take a look at what she did. She graduated dental school around the same time as Dr. James. So same dental school, similar debt, similar ambition. But today, Dr. Jennifer takes home $500,000 per year. Here's the best part. She only works 3 days a week. Excuse me. And only on cases she loves, implants. She spends the other days with her kids, coaching their soccer games, and planning her next family trip. It's a lot of fun. Her staff? Oh, that's a whole different story than Dr. James. Her staff is loyal. They've been with her for years. They show up early, they stay late when needed, and treat her practice like their own. When she posts a job opening, dozens of qualified candidates line up. Why? Because in her area, your dental assistants, your dental hygienists, they talk to each other and they know what it's like there. Everybody wants to work in her culture. Her patients, well, they're grateful. They arrive pre-educated, they're ready to invest in their health. They don't haggle over prices because Dr. Jennifer doesn't play that insurance game. She opted out of those PPOs years ago. Her patients see her as a trusted expert, not a commodity provider. Her work-life balance, well, that's great. Her schedule is filled with high-value cases, not hygiene churn. She loves going to work. And when she's at work, she is energized, not depleted. At the end of the day, she has energy left for her family, for her hobbies, for her life. And she's scaling. So right now, Dr. Jennifer is adding 2 more locations. They're already in the works. It's a different story, right? She's not just building a dental practice, she's building a legacy. So what's that divergence, right? That same beginning, different choices, right? So what changed? How can 2 dentists with the same exact training live such different lives? Dr. James told himself, marketing, it's optional. He trusted word of mouth. He thought he could outwork the system. He assumed the PPOs were the cost of doing business. His lack of strategy bled into every area: untrained staff, unconverted phone calls, in a culture of mediocrity. Dr. Jennifer, on the other hand, she, from the very start, knew that marketing is essential. She built a brand, not just a practice. She tracked every phone call. She created systems that turned inquiries into appointments and appointments into loyal patients. She designed a culture that rewarded loyalty and excellence, and she refused to let insurance companies dictate her destiny. Same profession, same opportunities, 2 very different outcomes. So let's look at these stress triggers, right? Let's kind of reimagine what could happen. So in the workforce shortages, Dr. James, in his life, it's chaos. For Dr. Jennifer, it's really irrelevant. Her staff just doesn't leave. Patient attitudes, for Dr. James, it's constant pushback. For Dr. Jennifer's patients, they are grateful because her marketing sets expectations. As far as clinical dentistry, for Dr. James, it's very grinding. He's doing drill and fill all day long. For Dr. Jennifer, it's very focused. It's very fulfilling implant work. When we talk about insurance reimbursements, for Dr. James, it's a financial strangulation. And if any of you out there listening, you know what I'm talking about. For Dr. Jennifer, that's not even in a conversation. It simply doesn't exist in her practice. Stress triggers or opportunities. It all depends on your choices. So let's look at the hero's journey dentist edition, right? Every dentist is the hero of their own story. The burnout you feel right now, that's the call to adventure. You can refuse the call like Dr. James and stay trapped in resentment, exhaustion, and regret. Or you can answer it like Dr. Jennifer and begin the journey toward wealth, freedom, and fulfillment. The obstacles you face today, they're not permanent. They're just dragons to slay, and every hero needs a guide. And that's where Amplify 360 steps in. We can actually be the mentor on that journey. We help dentists design their Dr. Jennifer story. We provide the marketing, the systems, and strategies that turn struggling businesses or struggling practices into thriving businesses. We help build demand with smart marketing that attracts the right patients. We help optimize your phone system so every call that comes into your office converts to a patient scheduled in your care. And we help train your team to be loyal, motivated, and accountable. We help you ditch those PPOs and take back your profitability. How great would that be, right? And then we're able to fill your schedule with the dentistry you love. We don't just solve the problems, we actually create transformations. So, what's possible for you? Stepping into this journey, you can stop being a burned out dentist and start being a business owner in control. You could stop trading hours for dollars and start building wealth. You stop living for the weekends and start living with purpose. Your staff stays, your patients respect you, your schedule fills with profitable work, and your stress level drops because you finally built a business that works for you, not against you. Dr. Jennifer is not a unicorn. She's just a dentist who made the right choices, and you can too. Picture this, right? Here's your vision. Every dollar you invest in marketing doesn't just disappear into awareness, it comes back as predictable cash flow, fueling payroll, funding new tech, and giving you breathing room to grow. Imagine your practice as a self sustaining growth engine, steady patient flow arriving every month, fueling collections, eliminating the payroll panic, and giving you the freedom to focus on dentistry that you love. So, what's the shift? Here's the key: growth doesn't have to mean working more hours. It doesn't mean hiring more associates or burning out your team. Growth can come from keeping more of the patients you already attract, from plugging the leaks that cause loyal patients to slip away, from fixing the small frustrations that send people running to the office down the street. When you do this, you stop being a hamster on a wheel and start compounding your results. It's a culture advantage, right? With the right systems, you don't just keep patients, you also keep your team. Imagine a staff that's happy, engaged, and proud to represent your practice. Imagine walking into an office where the energy is positive, where patients feel it the second they enter, and where your people actually want to stay. That kind of culture isn't a nice to have, it's the foundation of growth because happy staff deliver better care. Better care creates loyal patients, and loyal patients drive referrals, positive reviews, and long term profitability. This is where Dr. James and Dr. Jennifer diverge yet again. In Dr. James' world, he thought that growth meant grinding harder, seeing more patients, adding more hygiene days. Dr. Jennifer, on the other hand, realized that growth was about leverage, creating a practice patients never want to leave, and a staff culture that makes people proud to stay. It's not too late to reverse that silent exodus of patients, teams, and joy. It's not too late to build the kind of experience that fuels loyalty, referrals, and makes that, you know, marketing easier, not harder. Amplify 360 helps practices not just attract patients, but also retain them. So your growth doesn't depend on an endless new patient acquisitions. We help replace those low value PPO churn with loyal, high value patients. We protect your practice from negative reviews and silent drop offs and create the kind of culture where where your team stays, thrives, and performs at their best. We turn your marketing budget into a cash flow machine that keeps your schedule full month after month. Are you seeing a trickle of patients quietly disappearing? Are staff frustrations eating at your culture? Are you in a growth mode and can't afford to lose even one ideal patient to a competitor down the street? Wherever you are, whether you're clawing out of burnout like Dr. James or scaling like Dr. Jennifer, Amplify 360 gives you the leverage to keep your patients happy, your team engaged, and your practice profitable for years to come. So, how can we help? We know that growing a dental practice is not a one size fits all solution. So we meet you where you are. We help create a plan for gradual, sustained growth to build that ideal practice with loyal patients, and we guide you every step of the way. We are a comprehensive practice growth organization. So when we talk about practice growth, it's not just new patients, it's everything in the practice. So we focus on consistent growth and results through the life of your practice, whether you've just opened your doors today or you've been spinning your wheels over how to get ahead. And even if things aren't going great, you're ready to open new locations. We can provide you with guidance and service every step of the way. How can we do this? Well, we've been working with clients since 1995. Over that time, we've had a total impact of about 10,000 practices. And when you work with that many practices, you learn what works and what doesn't work. And so we have developed systems that really help us drive all the systems that work and give us a positive result. That result allows our clients stay with us an average of 8 to 12 years. So that's a pretty long time because people would not stick around if it was not working. What usually happens at that 8 to 12 year mark is our practice owners are sought after to sell their practice or they retire early. It's really a wonderful thing. And here's the thing I love the most is that, we go from this struggling, stressful thing. We know we can get every single doctor within a practice to $2 million in collections, not production, in collections. In the best part, working in many cases 150 days per year or less. How many days a year are you working? Do the math. Most of you are probably working closer to 200. So just a couple of quick testimonials. Dr. James Keel, he's one of those doctors, been around for a long time, was on that hamster wheel for a bit. When he started working with us, as soon as the website went live, he saw 37 new patients in the first month alone, right? And he says that they received 52 new calls from the website by itself. And the big thing, I think the last line in his testimonial says, we're definitely seeing a difference in quality. And that's really what it boils down to. Patients coming to him for the right reasons, not just because he takes their insurance. And that's a very different scenario that you're going to see. So we're a one-stop shop. So unlike other companies, Amplify 360 doesn't just build one part of the equation. We run the whole thing. So we're able to ideate, build, and manage every aspect of running your dental practice growth. So everything from top-tier patient-generated websites to automating your Google reviews, gathering process, to direct mail, to tracking calls, and to helping you convert more of those new patient calls into actual patients. This is just a handful of things that we are helping practices do today. We have we have our hands on multiple tools that we can implement within a practice to make sure we're hitting those goals from, again, from websites to video to training to paid search to case acceptance training. I mean, the list goes on and on. Not only that, but we grow with you. We're really a one-stop shop, and every practice faces new challenges as they get bigger and as they get busier. And our clients love that we can help them address those challenges with state-of-the-art tools and expertise from decades of experience of helping doctors make more money and live happier lives. So, what's next? Well, I'm going to ask you to take some action today. We're offering a free practice growth call. And what we'll do is we'll look at your current situation, show you what's potentially broken, and how Google might be actually penalizing you from getting more of those new patient leads coming in and those patients through the door. We'll also determine if we're a good fit for your practice and its needs. So right now you should be seeing a button on the right side of the screen. I'm going to ask you to click on that button now and fill out the form. It's just a few simple pieces of information. When you do that, you're going to select the time that's convenient for your practice growth call. That call lasts about 15 minutes, and there's absolutely no obligation to do anything. It's completely free. You could keep guessing what works, or you can lean on a proven pathway to attract new high quality patients into your practice by working with a respected industry leader who will light the right path right up in front of your feet. Again, if you haven't clicked that button, please go ahead and do so. We're here to help, and me and my team will love to discuss with you what your current situation and just give you some enlightenment. And at the end, we're going to shake hands and part friends. It's really no pressure to make that call, and we'd love to have that conversation with you. Dr. Kevin McMahon is one of those doctors who took the challenge, right? Now he's been working with us for quite a few years. And when he came on, he says, in his situation, right, he had several different people kind of handling all his practice growth efforts. And he says, I don't have to worry. It's done. I don't have to think about it. Before I had 4 or 5 different people. Now I just trust Amplify 360. You cover everything and help me run the business and make decisions on how I go forward. You don't have to do this alone. And we know that many of you are, alone in your practice. You don't have a lot of interaction with other dentists, and more importantly, other highly successful dentists who are willing to give away their secrets to you. So let Amplify 360 help you. We can shape your practice in a way that attracts quality patients, converts them into your greatest advocates, and builds the business in ways you've always wanted. So I want to thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you sticking it out with me through the end of this webinar. Again, that button is still there. I'm going to welcome you to click on that button. Give us a call. It's a short 15 to 20-minute call just to, help understand where you are and help you get rid of those stressors and live the life you've always dreamed of. So look forward to speaking with all of you and in our meetings, and I welcome you and wish you best of luck to everything. So have a great day. We'll see you later.